stadium. Like,
Listen,
that's crazy.
if Tyson dies, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, if you have something like that, if you have, look, if
That'd
this,
be the end of the.
If Tyson passes away, that's absurd, right? Oh my God, yes, if you have something similar. If you have a look at this, could this be the end of the right experiment? Let's picture it differently. Rather than picturing Mike Tyson taking on Jake Paul, imagine Mike Tyson taking on a young, extremely strong knockout artist who is a contender. With 8 2-minute rounds, how can you call it a professional fight if the rules you're applying aren't professional? I suppose they could be in the non-binary category. The women will be glad to see someone taking the shorter rounds. Yes, I am referring to you. Boxing experts have analyzed the impending bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Lennox, despite the many warnings about Tyson's return to the sweet science, Lewis said he was looking forward to seeing his former rivals return to the ring. Lewis is still fascinated by the idea, though Lewis and many others think Tyson will be the one lifting his arm at the end of the fight. The British national claimed in a previous interview with The Guardian that Paul is the only person who should be worried about the risk. Lewis expressed concern for Jake. Paul Tyson's ability to punch is evident when he strikes a bag. Lewis stated that Jake Paul will undoubtedly feel the impact of one of Tyson's punches. He also pointed out that Paul probably doesn't want to be hit, highlighting the fact that Tyson advances and is skilled at stopping the fight. Lewis also questioned the effectiveness of Paul's defense, saying, "I saw Mike a couple of weeks ago, and he looked good. He was walking around without a shirt and showing off his body, so he's getting ready. I'm excited about it because, as performers, these guys must be seen. The public adores them and wants to see them perform." Carl Froch, a legendary boxer from Britain and a former unified super middleweight champion, has backed Tyson, but FR, who is well known for vocally challenging Paul, is dubious of the former YouTuber's skill inside the ring. Froch said to Lord Ping, "I don't worry about Mike Tyson." Jake Paul is unable to fight because none of his knockouts are valid. Instead, they came from opponents who lack skill. In addition, he's ineffective. His approach style balances attack and defense. He is unable to combat the way he sets up his blows. Mike will be all right. Thank you so much. Adding to the conversation, renowned fighter and 5-division champion Sugar Ray Leonard commented on the upcoming match. He was brought to attention by a Fight Hype reporter who delved into his insights on the massive match. With the poise of a former undisputed welterweight champion, he captured his thoughts on the upcoming match in just 2 sentences. In the midst of the chatter and anticipation, a universal truth endures. The masses inevitably gravitate towards the spectacle of live combat, a sentiment echoed by one revered figure among them. However, when pressed for wisdom to impart upon the fabled baddest man on the planet, Leonard stood poised with a response primed for the moment he doesn't need advice. The reporter prodded Leonard about Tyson's fight and highlighted the age difference. To this, the 68-year-old boxer first said, "Put it this way, a lot of people are going to watch that fight, okay, vice right," said the well-known combatant. In this case, Sugar Ray is not wrong. Over the course of his 2-decade career, the world's most dangerous man has met many formidable opponents. When Roy Jones Jr. made his comeback in 2020, even the youngest heavyweight champion stated that he was as aggressive as ever because Paul had alluded to the situation's increased severity by highlighting how the result of their clash would have an impact on each fighter's individual legacies. Despite the fact that Paul is still in his prime and has far less experience than Tyson, there was a noticeable tension during their press conference on May 16th, indicating a shift towards animosity. The combat sports community is divided about who will win the fight between Paul and Tyson. While Tyson is unquestionably one of the greatest fighters of all time, he is decades away from reaching his peak performance. As the highly anticipated event approaches, TNC caught up with Paul to find out what he thought about taking on an opponent who was only a few years away from being regarded as a senior citizen. The legend must fall in terms of the fight scale said, absolutely not explain. If Tyson gets a shot to knock him out, he'll do the exact same in an embarrassing fashion, Paul continued. I have to reciprocate that same energy, he said. But Mike Tyson is a killer, ruthless, and the most vicious champion ever. Paul said he thinks Netflix might bring in hundreds of millions of people, and that the former undisputed world champion in the cruiserweight and heavyweight classes will fill AT&T Stadium to capacity. Recently, Evander Holyfield shared his thoughts on the game. Holyfield began by exploring the stylistic aspects of the possible battle, considering Tyson's more mature experience compared to Paul's more young energy in this hypothetical situation. In comparison, Paul, a 27-year-old rising star on YouTube and in boxing circles, is far younger than Tyson, who is 58. Holyfield emphasized the importance of confidence in boxing and discussed how strategy and mentality interact to change the dynamics of a fight. He highlighted the significance of keeping the proper distance when facing Tyson, citing Tyson's impressive speed and knack for exploiting opponents who keep their distance. You know, it's because of the confidence the other guy has. I don't know how much confidence Jake Paul has at all this, but you know he's going to be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning going to be great. Although Tyson mostly depends on his lower body to generate strength, Holyfield noted that if Paul stayed close to him, his chances of winning would increase. However, if Paul lingered too far away, he would be exposed to Tyson's devastating counterattacks. Holyfield refrained from providing a definitive prediction, emphasizing that the outcome depends on Paul's performance. He raised questions about Paul's ability to withstand a blow from a fighter as strong as Tyson, whose strength is still formidable at his age. Holyfield also emphasized how unpredictable boxing can be and how important it is to have confidence in one's ability to win. Triumphant, drawing from his own experiences as a fighter, he strikes out at you like a snake and gets there too quickly. But if you charge him, everything he pushes off his legs, so he gets too close like this. However, if you give him the wrong man, everyone gets knocked out and goes backwards in this manner, and you end up in the room completely screwed up. Do you think Mike will win, or do you think Jake will win? I have no idea. It all depends on how Jake fights, you know. But let me tell you, what if someone tells him that it's foolish to be wanting to get close to the guy? He's going to get going. When Mike gets inside, he curls up like this before snapping out to get you. In addition to paying respect to Tyson's legendary status and his significant impact on the sport, Holyfield provides